When I was about 4 I went to look at a house with my dad that ended being the house we bought and lived in until about 2 years ago when my dad sold it. I'm now 23. It was a normal, one-story family home. When we were touring the home I walked down the hall to what ended up being my room and saw kids that lived there playing, and also saw a girl about 6 or 7 just sitting in the middle of the room staring at me. When we moved in I can remember frequently playing with this girl. I was under the impression that she lived down the street. One day me and the girl were playing in the toy room as we called it and I wouldn't share my toys with her. I distinctly remember this because I always felt bad about not sharing. She got very mad and got up and stormed out of my house. That was the last time I ever saw her. I'll finish that story at the end. When I was 5 I was taking a bath with the door open and I saw an older man walk by the door. I can still remember he had on a plaid shirt and was tall and thin. I should say none of this really made any sense until I was older. Nothing really happened after that I can remember. Then when I was between the ages of 13-16 I always felt as if someone was standing behind me looking at the side of my face but only in my room. It felt like a man. It made me uneasy but I just brushed it off. One day I just all of a sudden woke up out of a dead sleep at probably 10 a.m. and looked at my dog who was sitting at the end of my bed completely alert and moving her head back and forth very slowly watching something in my room as if someone was walking. It freaked me out so bad I jumped up, swung open my door and just made myself forget about it. I never liked to believe in that stuff. My parents divorced sometime after we moved into that house so we would go back and forth from my dad's to my mom's and when we would get back from my mom's, my dad, a firm believer in freaking everything, would always say, "I hear noises in your room and I think it's Pawpaw." Pawpaw was my grandpa that had previously died, but I never told my dad what happened because I never really put everything together until recently when I asked my mom if I had any friends when I was younger that would come over and play, specifically the girl who lived down the street. She told me that I never had any friends at all in the neighborhood. So I'm pretty sure my dad's house was just very paranormally active, but I'll never forget that house.